Hey, 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 it's July 1. Happy
Gonna wave
Canada
just like
Day.
I did the other day
was
on the
beautiful.
show
Well
all
done.
the time.
Thank you. Welcome to 705 Sports with Jacob and myself, Colette. You are here with us on Thursday, July the 1st, as we are not in the studio tomorrow, but we do wish you a great long weekend. We are wearing orange today in solidarity with our Indigenous communities across Canada as Canada celebrates their 154th birthday today. So on that, we want to talk about those Montreal Canadiens today.
Yeah, we have a very, did I mention very?
Is it very?
Very jam-packed show. So as a little teaser, we're going to talk about the salary cap, some updates on the Leafs, the Olympics updates if the NHL is going or not. We have our O.H.L schedule has been released, CFL. We have our Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
We also, as you said, have the HABS and Lightning. But before we get into the HABS and Lightning, I want to get into something that the Lightning's been doing to take advantage, I think, of the salary cap system.
Alrighty.
So for anyone who knows, the salary cap does not count in the playoffs. So what Tampa Bay did and what a lot of other teams have been doing, they use what's called their long-term injury reserve. So Nikita Kucherov, the Lightning's best player, was out the entire season. His salary did not count to the cap. So that's $9.5 million the Lightning could use to build their powerhouse team.
Okay.
After they do that, once the playoffs hit, Kucherov comes back, they don't need to be at that salary cap anymore. So currently Tampa Bay has $17.3 million free from their long-term injury reserve that they use to build these playoff super teams. They did the same thing last year with Stamkos being out the whole year just to come back for the finals, and same with Kucherov. And they did it again this year with Stamkos, who missed 18 games this year. But again, they were able to use that bit of his salary to go get another player, which is how they're able to afford Savard. They're able to afford to have two top lines. They're able to afford to have a defense core that's insane and a Vezina goaltender. So a big topic that's been around, especially from Dougie Hamilton, who is a defenseman from the Carolina Hurricanes, is it fair when a team is almost $18 million over the salary cap in the playoffs? So like, should that salary cap count in the playoffs?
Okay.
That's the big debate that's going on. My thoughts on it personally, I think they need to change the rules of the long-term injury reserve. So what I would do is I would say you can only use a certain percentage of the player's salary. So let's say Kucherov makes $9.5 million a year, which I believe it's somewhere around there, less than Marner.
Let's not talk about Marner. We're still in the timeout. I'm not ready yet.
Right now, they could use that full 9.5. Maybe if you made it, you could only use like 30%.
Yeah.
At least that way you wouldn't, when Kucherov comes back in the playoffs, at least now it's not like you have another player who's comparable to Kucherov in your lineup.
Okay.
That's one option. Another option is maybe I've seen some ideas of giving teams a penalty for the salary cap next year if you're over the cap during the playoffs. I don't mind that idea either. Or some people are saying just instate the cap during the playoffs. Okay. Make it more even. I don't know if your thoughts on if you feel it's technically they're not breaking the rules, but do the rules need to be changed?
That's a good question. I don't think they're breaking the rules at all. I think they're just working the system, to be honest with you, and they're working it well.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, Tampa's not the only team that does this. No. They're just the team that does it the best.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
Which is kind of funny when Tampa complained about it a couple years ago, and now they're doing the exact same thing. But that's just some of my thoughts on that I feel it's something that I think the NHL should make an adjustment. They did actually investigate the Kucherov injury because it was a little weird. He was out the entire season to then come back in perfect form for the playoffs just in time where the cap didn't count.
Yeah.
They said there was nothing off about it. I'm still 50-50 on it.
Yeah.
But either way, I think the NHL needs to do something, but knowing Gary Bettman, since it's benefiting American teams, he probably won't.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't seem to want Canadian teams
How long has he been the commissioner of the NHL?
It's been a while. Over 20 years.
Yeah, it's been a
20 years of torture.
Let's give him props a little bit. He can take it. He can. I don't think that there's anyone out there that really likes him.
As much as he bothers me, he has done some things I do totally agree with. I do agree with the salary cap actually a lot. I think it makes teams a lot more even.
Yeah.
But speaking of Bettman, we get to move on to a Gary Bettman update with the Winter Olympics.
Oh, righty.
So let's rewind the clock pre-COVID. I know that feels like 18,642 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
The NHL said they were going to go to the Winter Olympics. Now they're starting to say we don't know.
Yeah.
So Bettman released a statement in a press conference saying that we have real concerns about whether it's sensible to participate. We already passed the time we hoped for this to be resolved. We will deal with it, and we're just trying to manage it and see where we are for the next 15 months. So basically, I'll be honest, I won't be surprised if the NHL does not go to Beijing in 2022, which is disappointing, because I find the Olympics is a lot more exciting when like Team Canada, Team USA, Team Russia, Team Sweden, Team Finland, they have their NHLers.
Yeah, the only thing that I will say to that is it does give the opportunity on a platform for other athletes, other hockey players to be involved with the Olympic Games, and then it separates the professional hockey players. But I do obviously see the benefit to sending our NHL stars there as well. But are we just doing that to stand on a podium with a gold medal, or should we not be using this platform to elevate our other hockey players in this fine country?
That's a very good point, because the Olympics were not designed for professional athletes originally. So that's why the NHL used to never go. And mind you, now for a country like Canada and the States, where predominantly all their top hockey players play in the National Hockey League, it's tough, especially when Russia sends the KHL, Sweden sends the Swedish Elite League, Germany sends their hockey league, which we have to give these other countries credit. They have they've really improved their hockey programs over the year. But I mean, I can see both sides to it. I kind of see why some people don't want the NHL players going, and to be honest, I can see why the NHL doesn't like sending their players. Let's say you send Sidney Crosby, right? Who people pay to go watch. He gets a season-ending injury or a career-ending injury.
I agree with you. But that point, that's where the athlete themselves needs to weigh those options, and their club. I also feel that maybe extend it to like the rookies of the NHL. But keep the vets aside, just to, I don't know, I in my heart of hearts, although it is great to see these dream teams as put together like the NBA did for the basketball, for the Olympic Games for basketball, I get the excitement to see the Sidney Crosbys of the world going out there. Of course we want to see that, but I don't know, I think it's a platform for the athletes with whom are not in the professional stream.
And it would also give younger players a lot more chance to develop. So like players who get past the like World Juniors, now they can go to that next stage, which maybe they can get in. Sort of like the Spengler Cup would be a great comparison, where they don't send the NHL players because they're still playing.
No, I think that's just when you bring up the Canadian hockey, the junior teams and our U18s or our 21s. They're excellent. They're so exciting, and we all witnessed every time they have tournaments.
It's
it really
fantastic hockey.
It's great hockey. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
But sticking with hockey, let's get over to some Leafs news.
Let's do that.
So a very surprising one came through. Apparently, Frederik Andersen might not be on the move. They're working on re-signing him.
I don't understand.
Neither do I. We have a graphic comparing Andersen and Campbell just to kind of see stat for stat play. But like Andersen definitely had a shaky year. Compared to Campbell, with his save percentage being low, his goals against average being high, and no shutouts versus Campbell, who definitely had the stronger season. I don't mind Andersen if we can get him at like a $2.5 million a year deal. I understand. I think they're worried about Campbell playing a full 82 game season, but I feel at the same time Campbell was your guy all year. I think he needs to be your guy next year. I think it's time to let Andersen move on. As much as I don't think Andersen's a bad guy, I just think in a salary cap world, especially a flat cap, it's not going to happen. And then another quick one, Zach Hyman and the Leafs are nowhere near each other. Apparently Hyman's still looking in that $6 million range. The Leafs want that $4.5 to $5 million range. I don't see Hyman re-signing before free agency.
Okay. What about Wayne?
And Wayne Simmons, I was very happy when I saw he was coming back. We have a graphic again about his stats, with his season stats and his playoff stats. And I do want to remind the viewers, Wayne Simmons only had 7 goals during the season, but 5 of those goals were before he got that wrist injury. So it's a very different situation. I think it could have been very different if Wayne Simmons didn't get hurt. And in the playoffs, he didn't pump out a whole lot of points, but at the same time, Carey Price was playing unfrickin' believable in that series. You have to look at it. Simmons and Marner had the same amount of points, and people are mad about the re-signing of Simmons. Simmons had a 2-year deal worth $800,000 a year. $900,000 a year, sorry. I personally I think he can't go wrong. If it's another like Jason Spezza type signing, where I think he's a good player for the value, and at that price, if he doesn't work out, at least he's very easily movable.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, that's an awesome first start to our 705 Sports here for Thursday, July the 1st. When we get back after this commercial break, we are going to talk about those Soo Thunderbirds and all the moves that they've been making. The Greyhounds have their schedule out. We're going to find out when they play London and Barrie. And we've got some more coming right up, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
705 Sports, supported by Gary Chervinsky, Exit Realty, Lake Superior. Buying a home is a big decision, so is choosing the right agent. Call Gary Chervinsky, broker at Exit Realty, Lake Superior, 705-257-5432.
705 Sports, supported by Maker North, 3D printing, laser cutting, 3D design, education, prototyping, and more. Maker North, whatever it takes.
Welcome back to 705 Sports. So as you know, we went through some of our news going on with the National Hockey League, the Leafs, the Olympics, but being in Sault Ste. Marie, you know what we need? Some hounds, some local sports.
Hound. Yeah, let's talk Greyhounds. So they have released the schedule. This was released by the Minister of Heritage and Sports and Culture this past week, I do believe.
Yep.
So we've got a schedule. It is posted online. You did a nice little article
Thank
up there,
you.
so thank you, Jacob. So October 22nd, they do play the North Bay Battalion, who was once the Brampton Battalion.
Yes.
North Bay Battalion, then went to Brampton, and
Yes.
then went back to North Bay. Look at the kids meeting their Greyhounds. Like, isn't that the cutest
Oh,
little
it's
shot?
awesome.
I know. I love how they're so starstruck when they see these big hockey players, and as they should be. So the long wait for the O.H.L hockey and the Soo Greyhounds is finally over, Jacob. Thank goodness. Just after 3 p.m. This past week, the O.H.L released their full 68-game schedule. It's time to mark your calendars and get ready to cheer on our home team. And we do have some new names coming through for the 21-22 season, so look out for those. What else can I say about this? We'll play Guelph Storm in November. Windsor, when do we play Sarnia? Well, I don't see your Bears.
Well, the reason why I had it with these, what's really cool about these games, so this
Yeah.
this is a new thing they're trying in the OHL.
Yeah.
So we're doing double headers in the same arena.
Yes, we
so
are.
we'll be getting like Guelph Storm November 5th and 6th here
Yeah.
in Sault Ste. Marie. The Windsor Spitfires from January 7th to 8th in Sault Ste. Marie. You know what? We're going to stay in Sault Ste. Marie February 11th and 12th because we have the Sarnia Sting. Sault Ste. Marie. London Knights. Oh, I hate saying London Knights. February 25th and 26th.
Yeah.
And the Kitchener Rangers March 11th and 12th. I think that'll be super exciting to have these doubleheader homestands.
It's a good idea. You know, they have these players traveling, and you have to remember sitting on a bus for a good 8-9 hours it's to the advantage of the home team, which is great.
100%.
But I mean, it's just nice that, you know, they're traveling here. Why waste the cost of transportation and do it again?
Well, I was going to say that too. It's like the OHL lost
Silly.
a lot of money last year as well. This will be a way for them to save a bit of money. It's either way, they'd still need the hotels for 2 days if they had to come back
True.
again.
Very
But now
true.
they just stay here,
Yeah.
which is going to be awesome. The only thing we don't know yet, and I'm really, really hoping we do,
What?
they don't know about fans as of yet.
I feel like if this is not till October, the first home game,
I'm hoping.
I really do feel that we will get to the point. I do. I really do.
So do I.
I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about Montreal and how they wanted to up their fans, how many the quantity of people coming through the arena. I think and right now, what are they at, 2,500?
3,500.
3,500. Okay, so 3,500 for the Stanley Cup. It is July 1st. By the time we get to October, I think we'll be fine. We'll
I think we will,
socially
too.
distanced. People are going to be immunized. I think positive.
Exactly. Because I can't wait to see the way this city is going to react to not seeing their hounds
I
for so
know.
long, to seeing their hounds, and just so you guys know too, the viewers at home or wherever the heck you are right now, we will be covering the hounds like crazy.
Yes, we'll be all over those.
We're going to be
hounds.
all
We'll be like
over
hound
it.
dogs on the hound.
Because Colette and I are both huge OHL fans
Actually,
and
really,
supporters. I
yeah.
mean, I think the OHL and the CHL arguably is sometimes more competitive than the NHL. So
Yeah.
I am super, super
Yeah.
excited. But you know what else I'm excited about?
What, Tommy?
We got some Thunderbirds updates.
We do have some Thunderbirds, and again, I have to just thank Matt Stefano for always sending me the updated stuff. Thank you, Matt. Truly appreciate it. And once you guys get up and going, obviously we're going to be
We will
there
be doing
again.
a lot of coverage
We could
again.
not do a lot of coverage because there were only letting so many people in, and you had to be a parent with a ticket already. So let's talk a little bit about these Thunderbirds. They trade Hill to Cochrane. Another blue liner is on the move. The Thunderbirds have announced that they have traded the 2002 birth year defensive Mark Hill to the Cochrane Crunch in exchange for a player development fee. The Soo Thunderbirds also announced that forward Michael Chaffee, and it's called Chaff is Back, is the title of that article. Love it. Chaffee, who just turned 19 years old back on June the 9th, will be entering his second full season with his hometown team. In his rookie season, the Thunderbirds in 2021, the Sault Ste. Marie native scored 6 times to set up 10 others and 21 games played. So his 6-goal season were among the most in the Thunderbird rookies. So that's exciting. What else do we got?
I know we have Dundas, who re-signed his contract.
Yes, he
which
did.
is great. That's a nice move for the Thunderbirds. Pretty solid blue liner with the 5 assists, 6 bounties in 16 games. So he's a nice addition for them. I know they've been moving around their blue line quite a bit, trying to figure out a new match for it.
And I also see that I like this heading. Santa's been good, it says. And this is reference to our Sault Ste. Marie native Brock Santa Maria, who is 18 years old. He's a forward, and he is returning for his 3rd full season. So that's great. Zach Attack is also back. The 18-year-old forward and Sault Ste. Marie native Ty Zachary will be returning to the Thunderbirds for his 2nd full season.
Nice. Yeah. That's one thing I like with the Thunderbirds. I find they really want to keep the same core, which is great for their development, which I feel definitely does help this team. I know we have Duchette, who's coming back as well, which he's a very, very solid player.
Yeah.
We finished last year as forward with 5 goals, 6 assists in the 20 games played. So he's a pretty decent forward. And again, it's great to see that he's coming back.
Yeah, and another native to Sault Ste. Marie as well. So congratulations, Tyson.
Go Soo.
Go Soo Thunderbirds. We will be there watching him. Okay, how do we want to wrap it up?
See, it's still, I'll be watching.
You always make me feel like a freak. I've been watching you. I don't mean that in a stalking sense. I mean it in a supportive sense. You always make me feel so silly for saying we've got 2 minutes left of this segment. Is there anything else you would like to add to this second segment, sir?
I'd also just like to add, I want to remind this city as well, if hopefully we'll be able to have the fans in the Thunderbirds games as well.
Yeah.
So remember to go out and support your Thunderbirds too. You know what? This league is still very competitive hockey. And it's actually, to be honest with you, when I started watching more of it, I discovered it was a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. Even back when I used to produce the games in the Alliston Barrie area when I was younger, it was, again, very, very competitive hockey. So remember that. Support your local players. Support them.
And they won the COVID Cup, let's remember, against the Blind River Beavers.
Which hopefully will never happen again.
Oh, they played Blind River so many times last season. I think I said Blind River Beavers about how many times in every morning show. So anyway.
I mean, the great thing with that was at least they got games in, which I'm excited to say that the O.H.L. will be getting games in as well, which is going to be great. But you know what else is great?
What else is great?
Our sponsors.
They are great, aren't they? Thank you, sponsors.
Thank you very much. So let's have a word from our sponsors. We will be right back where we're going to get into the Montreal game last night and what the heck they're going to do in game 3. Stay right here. Don't go. Stay. Good audience. So we'll be right back.
705 Sports, supported by Nogda Windeman Family and Community Services. Be an alternative care parent. A child needs you.
.705 Sports, supported by James Seaton, Mortgage Specialist. Your new home doesn't come with mortgage advice. I do. Call James Seaton Mortgage Specialist, RBC 705-975-1519.
Welcome back to 705 Sports on this Thursday, July 1st. You're with Jacob and Colette, highlighting your sports of the week.
But I don't have a highlighter.
I'm sorry.
I only have this pen I was supposed to get back to you.
He stole my pen. That's okay. I can share it with you. So today we've already discussed the O.H.L, the new schedule, the Greyhounds' home schedule, how they're going back-to-back games. So we have weekends of hometown hockey. We also talked a little bit about the Thunderbirds, the Leafs. We are going to hit the Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning to talk about Game 3 and Game 1 and Game 2 probably. But I want to talk to you about something that happened last weekend. I am a big boxing fan. And Gervonta Davis fought Marios Barrios. Great name, right?
That's a cool name.
It was 12 rounds. The 11th round was won by Mr. Gervonta the Tank Davis, who is supported and works out of the gym of Floyd Money Mayweather. So both fighters were undefeated. before this matchup. It was an awesome fight. Now, there is a huge height difference between Mario Barrios and the tank, Gervonta Davis. Gervonta won the fight. He's significantly shorter. He's so quick with his head movements. I encourage you to go and watch the fight. He's just nodding and shaking, shaking and nodding. But it was a fantastic fight. He landed Mario on his butt a couple times, which has never happened to him.
Now, one thing I do know about boxing, right?
Yeah.
If you get your boxes, right? Like, let's say I have some paper. I can put paper in the boxes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if I carry it, I'm boxing.
Yes.
Right? Or there's unboxing.
Yeah, I feel like maybe you need to go on YouTube.
I really should. In all honesty, as much as I joke around, I do have a lot of respect for the sport. It's just not the sport that I usually watch. But I mean, I do have respect, especially for boxing and UFC, the stamina you need to have for those sports and the techniques and the training.
5-minute rounds, 12 rounds, like the cardio training around that is insane. And these guys are throwing weight. Now, on the same night, Vasily Lomachenko, who is another one of my favorites, Loma, they call him Nomaschenko because nobody wants to fight him. No more, no more, no mask, no mask. He fought Nakatani, who is about 6'3", against Lomachenko's frame of, I think, a couple inches taller, a few inches taller, like a full head and shoulders taller.
Knees and toes, knees and toes.
Anyways, Loma also won that fight, so go check that out. Now, hang on to your knickers because you know what's happening next week? Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier are fighting for the third time. They are set at one win each. This is the tiebreaker, and I am a big Conor McGregor fan. Very big Conor McGregor fan, and I'm calling Conor as the winner. And I do think he's going to come out in round one and show him what's what. All right, that's enough. How to get that boxing out of my system. If you're watching soccer, there's going to be some great weekend games for the Euro Cup coming up this weekend, so don't miss those. Now over to you. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the Canadian Football League. They made an announcement yesterday about their quarantining. So now Justin Trudeau's made an exception for the 14-day quarantine for people who are coming from other countries. So what they need to do now is quarantine for 7 days in their own country while getting PCR tests, then come to Canada, quarantine for another 7 days here, which normally they would have had to quarantine for 14 days here. Be tested every day to make sure. If they test negative the whole time, then the teams get to join their own bubble together so they can start practicing and training. Then after that 7 days of them playing and training together, then they can join the civilization, go get themselves a tackle, you know, enjoy it. I am just super excited to get the CFL
You know what? I'm just sitting here watching these highlights and I'm like, God, I miss football. I can't wait.
And I miss Canadian football. It's just it's a different game. I've said this a lot, but if you haven't given the Canadian Football League a shot, give it a shot this year. It is a very exciting, fast-paced game. But getting else is something that was fast-paced.
Go Ticats, go. Husky, wee wee, husky, wawa, tiger, cats, eat 'em raw. Proud Hamiltonian. Don't even bother bringing up your Argos.
Let's go Argos. But
anyway, I won't sing what the Hamilton Ticats saying.
Let's get into last night's game where Montreal is unfortunately now down 2-0.
Okay.
But I liked their game too. So let's get into what happened in game 2, which we will have a graphique.
Oh, look at that.
That was
Waving
good
the
timing.
hands. That was awesome.
So the Habs did outshoot the Lightning 43-23. So I want you to think about that. That's a 20-shot difference. When do you see the Lightning get outshot that badly? You don't.
Pretty sure the Lightning's goalie, just like you have right there, stole that game.
He did. Vasilevsky stood on his head.
Oh, absolutely.
Where we had a bit of a weird one for Montreal. Carey Price looked off.
You know what? I have something to say to this, and I'll let you finish before I put in my 2 cents.
I really hope he's not injured. I'm hoping we're going to see him back to normal in game 3. And then, you know what? Montreal really did control this game, like with puck possession. And last but not least, turnovers really cost them this game, which was weird. Normally, their defense and their goaltending is how Montreal has won so many games. Last night, their forward group was sensational. The Suzuki line was on fire. The Danault line was doing a great job shutting down the Kucherov line. And when the Suzuki line had to go against the Kucherov line, they handled it. And with that shot total, Vasilevsky played great. I've seen some people say, Montreal needs to make these shots harder. starter on Vasilevsky. I think Montreal just needs to keep doing what they're doing offensively, clean up some of the turnovers a little bit, especially on the third goal where Sherratt behind the net, Edmondson behind the net just made an absolutely brutal turnover.
Yeah.
And it's just, these turnovers will make or break you.
Yeah.
And we saw it in the Tampa Islanders series in Game 7. Tampa won by one mistake by the Islanders.
Yeah.
And Montreal is doing the same thing. Same with the second goal. Sherratt made a bad pinch, which caused Tampa to score with 0.3 seconds left in the second period.
Yeah.
It would have been tied going into the third. In that second period, Montreal dominated. And the first goal, it's a goal Price wants back. There was a bit of a screen, but Price wants to be making those saves.
Okay, well, let me talk about that. So I do think that Price, you might say, is he injured? Is he tired? Well, yeah, he's tired, but I'm going to say this. I feel that with his veteran status and his exceptional talents as a goaltender, he's going to come through for Game 3. I'm going to get you to just remember what happened against the Leafs.
Can we not?
And I'm going to tell you
yeah.
that I have faith in the Montreal Canadiens. These are words I never thought I would ever utter by BT Dibs. But I think Price is going to pull up his hockey socks, and we're going to see a different look on Game 3.
You know what? Montreal has proven something. They've proven a lot of people wrong. Number one, they proved the North Division wasn't a weak division, because so far the hardest series for them, besides this one now, would have been the Leaf series, which is from the North.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you. Price has had some shaky games in these playoffs, but then he's came back and has played unbelievable, especially in that Toronto series.
Price doesn't lose.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about games. I'm talking about when you want a player on your team who steps up under pressure, Price is the name of the that you want on the back of your jersey.
Oh, 100%.
In my opinion. So.
And going into Game 3, which will be tomorrow on the Friday, let's quickly address the fans thing we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So Montreal tried to get it so they'd be allowed 10,500 fans. Quebec government went, no. They can only have 3,500 fans in the building, but they can have hundreds of thousands of fans on the street practically standing on each other, because that makes total sense. I'll be honest, I don't agree with it. I think too, now it's an unfair advantage for Montreal, because Tampa has this loud, vigorous 16,000 fan crowd. Mind you, 3,500 Canadiens fans are still loud.
Montreal Canadiens fans are loud. You can duplicate that to about 7,000 for sure.
Yeah.
But we've got a minute and a half left of today's show. Where does the time go? It's so much fun here with you.
So we'll quickly get into some keynotes for this game, Game 3. Montreal needs to do it pretty much. Repeat what they did, just clean up the turnovers.
Yeah, okay.
Tampa, you need to figure out how to slow down Suzuki. That Suzuki line was, I don't care that they didn't put up a lot of points. They played extremely well. I'm going to make a bit of a bold prediction here that Montreal is going to win Game 3 and 4.
Yeah.
They are going to tie this series up. Then it's going to come back to a best-of-3 series. I look at this Montreal team. They're a team that doesn't quit.
No, you are absolutely correct.
Fantastic leadership. Yeah. They have depth. They have good goaltending. They have speed. They have a great defense. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Tampa is an absolute powerhouse that is $18 million over the salary cap, which I'm going to keep bringing up. And I don't care if people say you shouldn't bring it up. It's like, well, it's a very big reason why Tampa dominates.
Yeah.
But I still really feel, don't count Montreal out, because everyone counted them out against Toronto. What happened? Yeah. They won in 7. Everyone counted out Montreal against Winnipeg, and they didn't just beat Winnipeg, they dominated Winnipeg. Yeah. And everyone said, okay, well, the North is weak. The North is weak. They're going to get destroyed by the Golden Knights. What happened? In the last 5 games, they only won 1 game to take it in 6. Well, so Montreal's got a darn good shot, but we already got to go. Yeah, let's bring that cup to Canada. So go Montreal. And again, words I never thought I'd say. Thanks for joining us today. You're with Jacob and Colette. Have a great Thursday, July the 1st. We'll see you next week, and enjoy your long weekend. And goodbye, eggs, tomatoes. Oh, covered your face. Have a good weekend.
705 Sports. Supported by... Need window coverings? Locally owned and operated, Knack completes window coverings from start to finish. Call or message us today to schedule your free quote and experience what Knack can do for you.